So now we are going to learn about layers of retina. Uh, so we need to remember that retina has mainly 10 layers. So we will first try to remember the layers of retina using a mnemonic, that is ING, then I2, O2, then we will add a small e, then remember it is P2. I stands for internal limiting membrane. Internal limiting membrane. This internal limiting membrane is the innermost layer of retina. That means when you look at when you consider the cross section of an eyeball, in the case of cornea, this is anterior layer of cornea and this is the posterior layer of cornea. When you consider retina, if this is retina, this is anterior and this is posterior. So internal limiting membrane is the innermost or the anterior layer of retina. Then this is made up of true basement membrane. Remember the word true because there is something known as a false basement membrane. Next we need to remember is this is formed by Muller cell. Muller cell, this is formed by foot plates of Muller's cell. The next layer is, remember the code word N, that means the nerve fiber layer. Nerve fiber layer. This forms nerve fiber layer. Then the third layer, G, stands for the ganglion cell layer, which consists of ganglion cells. It contains ganglion cells. And the fourth layer, remember I2, O2, E and P2. I stands for inner plexiform layer. Inner plexiform layer. I2, one more I, that means inner nuclear layer. Then you have an outer plexiform layer. The plexiform means it is actually a synapse between two cells. So inner plexiform is a synapse between the ganglion cells in the ganglion cell layer and inner nuclear layer and inner nuclear layer cells, which is bipolar cells. Bipolar cells. Outer plexiform layer is a synapse between bipolar cells and the outer nuclear layer cells. That is, seventh layer is outer nuclear cells. Then eighth layer is the small letter E, that is the external limiting membrane. This is a false basement membrane. Then the ninth layer is the photoreceptor. The photoreceptor consists of rods and cones. Actually, the nucleus of these rods and cones are in the outer nuclear cells. So, outer plexiform layer is a synapse between bipolar cells and rods and cones. Then the last layer is the pigment epithelium. This forms the outermost layer as well as it forms a retinal blood barrier. And it has phagocytic activity. When light falls on eye, the photoreceptor first picks up the light. Then it generates some graded action potential, graded local potential. Generates graded local potential. From the photoreceptor, it goes to bipolar cells. Bipolar cells seen in inner nuclear layer. Then it goes to ganglion cells. Ganglion cell is seen in ganglion cells is in ganglion cell layer. Then it goes to the nerve fiber layer. Nerve fiber layer, and finally it forms optic nerve and optic. Then remember optic nerve, optic chiasma, and optic radiation. So the first order neuron is, of course, the first order photoreceptor. Second order neuron is bipolar cells. Where is bipolar cell seen? Bipolar cell seen in inner nuclear layer. Then inner nuclear layer. Then there is third order neuron, which is the ganglion cell layer. Then the fourth order neuron is optic radiation. Action potential is generated in ganglion cells. Remember, action potential is generated in ganglion cell. So this is the layers of retina. Thank you.